You're Next was released in 2011 and was directed by Adam Wingard, and the story is about a wealthy yet estranged family who gather together for the weekend. But when crossbow assailants and animal masks suddenly attack, the family must pull together in this fight to survive. Now, You're Next is a home invasion film in which the first two acts feel like a gorier version of The Strangers. I remember going to see this movie when I was 11, and I'm glad my parents were cool enough to let me see it. The movie begins when we are introduced to the family and their uncomfortably strange dynamic, and just off the bat, you can tell that these characters don't get along at all.
Stop yelling at me, Kelly!
You know it has to do with your legs if you never run, you fat fuck.
I'm not badly.
One of the sisters in the family brings over her new boyfriend named Tyreek over for dinner for this get-together. And when the family's having dinner, one of the brothers asks Tyreek, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" And Tyreek goes, "I'm a filmmaker," which is the case in real life. That's Ti West, the director of the X trilogy. So a few moments later, this family gets into a heated argument. The character Tyreek gets up from the table to look outside the main diner window, and then... the sheer panic from these characters and the realistic direction with the handheld shots just gives you the vibes as similar to The Strangers and some of Sam Raimi's work, which I love, along with the score for the film because it pays tribute to those 80s synths. And I don't know why, but that one dude walking with an arrow sticking out of his back was always funny to me. This is one of the very few movies that has a kill to where it makes me look away from the TV for a second. And that's when the family comes up with the most smartest idea to make a run for it outside the front door. So the family opens the front door and one of the sisters is choosing to run. But then a metal wire clips her neck. Put a band-aid on it, you'll be alright. The acting is not the worst I've ever seen, but definitely far from the best. Except for our final girl, Erin, who just carries this movie on her back. And she's one of the reasons why I love this movie, along with the third act, because by the end of the film, you're more scared of her than the actual killers themselves. She's an underrated final girl. She's a badass who just starts taking out all these killers one by one at the end of the movie. I like to think that this movie and Ready or Not exist in the same universe, and Grace and Erin are now best friends. It's basically R-rated Home Alone meets The Strangers meets Ready or Not, with hints of Evil Dead and Hush. And oh, she'd make a brutal Ghostface. The twist for this movie, on the other hand, you could see that shit coming from a mile away. We find out that the brother Felix and his goth girlfriend Z, we all knew a goth chick named Z at one point of our lives, but we find out that they had the family set up to get killed by these mass killers to inherit their family's fortunes. But my god, do they do a terrible job at making it seem like they're not in on it. Mainly speaking for Z. I get you're goth, but you could at least fake a little bit of sympathy for this family. It's hard to convince yourself she's not in on it if she's making the same damn face the entire movie. They do get it good at the end though, with a stab through the head and death by blender. But similar to how I described the killers in my Wrong Turn review, I do like the more tactical type of villains here in You're Next as well, along with the cool animal masks. Wasn't really into the first half, mostly because it relies on lame jump scares, but this thing really picks up in the back half. As cliche as it starts, at the end of the day we get to see a badass chick kill a bunch of creeps and assholes. I'll be giving You're Next a 3.5 stars out of 5. Thank you guys as always for watching. I look forward to bringing y'all more movie reviews soon. Don't forget to subscribe and comment down below what movies y'all want me to review next. I'm Matt, and I'll see you guys in the next video.